Win the incredible Steigercraft, Evinrude, Loran's Grand Prize Boat Package, and more in the Fisherman's 2018 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Get the details at thefisherman.com.
Hi there, Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine with this week's web video fishing forecast for New England. Well, unfortunately, it has been a wet and wild weather week here in southern New England. It's kept me inside here today. I didn't really feel like standing out in the rain while I shot the video for you. Sorry about that, but this is what you get this week. Some reports I saw indicated that a few places got upwards of 7+ inches of rain on Tuesday evening, obviously causing some localized flooding, both just from standing water running onto the roads, as well as some of the rivers and streams taking or cresting, flowing where they're not supposed to. It's just sure to throw a bit of a monkey wrench in the fishing plans for some anglers, I'm sure, but others who know how to use this influx of rainwater to their advantage, it could pay out well. It's a great scenario where we're in having a detailed logbook, that you can look back upon, find a scenario where something like this happened, and you know, it can pay off huge dividends. Always talking about logging, here's a really good case for it. All right, as we begin this week's discussion, remember that I'm still always looking for viewers, for you out there, to contribute video clips with your reports and findings from across New England. Again, freshwater, saltwater, surf, inshore, offshore. When we hit ice fishing season, want to see some of those ice reports, whatever you got. I'm looking for contributors every week. As you're going to see, I got a couple more this week. If you're interested in participating, shoot me an email at tlapinski@thefisherman.com. We can discuss it. It's a really simple process. Basically, you got one of these fancy new smartphones, you are set to go. That's essentially all you're going to need, and you can add in your report here this week. So I look forward to hearing from you. But in the meantime, let's get into those reports. Starting up in Massachusetts, our good friend Simeon Watson of the Goose Hummock Shop in Orleans is the first video contributor of this week, and he fills us in on the big variety of action to be had around the Cape right now.
Thanks, Toby. Here's a little bit of what's going on around Cape Cod right now. There's been some good albie fishing down in Nantucket Sound. You've had them spread all over from Bass River out to the Rips, out to Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket. Look for the working birds. Throw epoxy jigs to them. Anything sand eel or peanut bunker like has been doing very well. We've had some nice bonito in the bay out here, including right inside Sassuat Harbor. They're not big, but they're a lot of fun on light tackle. Down to the south also, there's been some good bluefish activity and some pretty good bass activity out in the Rips, out towards Handkerchief Shoal, out off Monomoy. Not huge fish, but very consistent. Cape Cod Bay's been holding fairly strong. Smaller fish, mostly off of Billingsgate, up towards Provincetown, with some good stuff being caught over by Scorton, the Fingers, and up towards the canal. Also, a lot of people are starting to tog fish. We carry a full line of tog jigs here at Goose Hummock, and stop in and check them out. Find yourself some nice structure out there and start picking away at some of these fall tog. There's still some flounder in the bay as well. A lot of the charter head boats have still been going out for them and doing fairly well. And people are still jigging up squid. It's pretty late in the season for them, but they're still finding them here and there. Hope to see you guys around, and have a great day.
All right, cool. Thanks a lot, Simeon. Staying up in Massachusetts waters, Wilson Kerr has this week's update from the 73rd Annual Martha's Vineyard Striped Bass and Bluefish Derby.
Thanks, Toby. This is Wilson Kerr checking in from Martha's Vineyard with the Martha's Vineyard Striped Bass and Bluefish Derby. We have had an unbelievable last 10 days of fishing here on the vineyard. The boat leading bluefish, the shore leading bluefish are all up in the 18-15 pound range. We've even got a 14-pound fly rod leading bluefish. A 35-pound shore bass is leading that division. The false albacore have been the big story for the last 10 days. They are blitzing inshore on the beach. Reports of 30 fish, 40 fish, even 50 fish mornings coming from certain island hotspots. The false albacore fishing has been absolutely off the hook, and we have a junior shore bonito, lots of shore bonito weighed in. Basically the last 10 days, the bait has moved in. The weather has been on and off. We've had some winds, some warm weather, some cool weather, but it's been spectacular fishing. We're looking forward to our final award ceremony on October 14th. That's in Oak Bluffs. That's open to anyone. We hope you'll be there. We appreciate the Fisherman's sponsorship of the Derby. We expect over 3,300 anglers this year. And please come down to the Vineyard if you haven't fished before. It's wide open right now. Bait everywhere. We've got bunker, silver sides, peanut bunker, needlefish all in. Pretty much wide open from the Vineyard. Back over to you, Toby.
All right, cool. Thanks a lot, Wilson. Moving on over into Rhode Island. All accounts are of some really, really good fall action on a variety of species, including striped bass, bluefish, tog, albies, and our correspondent, Dane Ardente, has the skinny on what to expect in the bay and out around Block Island this week.
Thanks, Toby. So this past week has brought some notable new developments to the fishing here in Rhode Island. Newport yesterday looked like the cold snap had gotten the tog bite to be a bit more consistent. Our best bet was in 20 feet of water along the cliff faces, picking through a lot of little ones, but steady action all morning and some keepers mixed in, biggest one being around 4 to 5 pounds. The albies in Newport have become a bit more scattered, but when they do pop up, they're a lot more apt to bite. So Block Island at the southwest corner was loaded with big fall bluefish, upwards of 16 to 17 pounds for the bigger ones. Many times we had 4 on at once on the umbrella rigs, so that was a lot of fun. In Middletown, the bass bite stays strong. Best bet is a dropping tide at night. Again, it remains to be small keepers in the 28 to 33 inch range, but however, I was getting some in the 15-pound range, but that was about as big as they were getting. Narragansett earlier in the week was a slaughter fest for false albacore. There were scattered albies and it was a short bite, but when the bite was on, and everyone was getting them.
All right, thanks a lot, Dane. Also worthy of noting, the last week has been very, very good along South County from shore. Striped bass and bluefish have finally found all that bait that I've been talking about for the last few weeks, a couple months actually. There's mullet. I saw a bunch of mullet on a couple of trips that I took recently. There's silver sides, there's peanut bunker, there's bay anchovies. There is a bit of everything, and anglers have been doing well pretty much round the clock. Daytime throwing big plugs, throwing jigs. Gil Bell shot me some pictures of bass of 20 pounds that he landed off the beach on a metal lip this week. A few guys that I spoke to did really, really well inside the breachways as well, both out front drifting plugs, as everybody likes to do, as well as up inside the channel with bucktail jigs. Joe D'Agostino, Joe Bags Bucktails, did really, really well throwing his soft plastic on his jigs this week, so it's a really good time to get in on that bite in Rhode Island. And then last but not least, albies have really spread almost everywhere now. They added into the Long Island Sound, combining in with the action we've been seeing in waters to the east. Aaron Koledsedge nailed a bunch of them off of Watch Hill. They've been caught inside the Sound, like I said, waters off Niantic. Heard guys getting them off of Old Lyme. Some even over Milford, and even as far into the Sound as the Norwalk area. So albie fever is pretty much spread everywhere. There's no avoiding it at this point. Not sure myself what this freshwater shot is going to do to the bite, but you know what? As I always say, those fish are already wet, so get out and fish.